Brady. This is going to be exciting.
And we got career starts up. We got a green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our nation's first state and its thunderous state capital, Dover, Delaware. Tonight, we're here at the Monster Mile, Dover Motor Speedway, where Miles the Monster has been greeting race fans and challenging drivers for generations. 2 weeks ago at Watkins Glen, West Division Master Joseph McWhorter won the pole and never looked back, leading all 40 laps as Charles Abert finished 10th overall to bring home the AM Division win. Over in the East Division, however, Mark Whitley extended his winning streak to 5, while Andrew McGarrigle earned a natural spot on the podium and sealed the deal for the AM win. So tonight, it's all about this 1 mile oval in Delaware and who can manage the Monster Mile. So settle in and let's get ready to roll. I'm Dave Riegel with your coverage of the West Division alongside Sky Schreck, who will be covering the East Division in the broadcast booth, with the king of dual race production, Eddie Smith, on the 1s and 2s and everything in between, because we'll be with you every step of the way. From the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on V-Speed. And Sky, always a good night when I get to slide in here alongside of you. Things starting to get ready to rock and roll there for the ARCA East Division.
Yeah, ARCA East is getting ready to go here in just a second. It'll be the first race tonight. ARCA West will be our second race of the evening. And ARCA East has been dominated, like you said, by Mark Whitley. He's won every race since we started with the East-West split 5 weeks ago. And he won at Watkins Glen in dominating fashion, pulling away from the field and winning, I believe it was about 50 seconds when it was all said and done. It was a dominating win from him, and he will look to grab another one here tonight at the Monster Mile. It's a treacherous track. It's one that's kind of known for its accident causing, I guess I would say, because this entire track is banked, the front stretch and the back stretch, and it's very narrow, 24 degrees in the corners, still 9 degrees of banking on the front straightaway. And if you get an accident in turns 1 or 2, it's very easy for that crash to clog up the whole track and result in a lot more than just 1 or 2 cars getting involved, similar to Bristol in that aspect.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that transition coming out of turn 4 and onto the front stretch is a thing of pure psychosis. I was standing right there on the front stretch a couple of years ago when I really got a good look at that transition, and it is a hump. All of that energy that has that car sucked down into the turn in that banking unloads on the front stretch, and that can really loosen the car up. These drivers are going to have really busy hands trying to hold a pretty wheel here. Of course, our race conditions, so to speak, as we get ready to roll tonight. Pretty varied. Right now, outdoor ambient air temperature showing up as 70 degrees, 74 degrees. That track temperature, though, that's what we're going to be paying attention to, 100 degrees. I mean, most important thing there is that's going to loosen up some of that grip, and it's going to cause a lot of these drivers to be slip sliding around.
Yeah, and you're going to see some slip sliding tonight. I think it's going to come out of quite a few drivers in this field. This race is going to be a lot of fun here. Dover always is a lot of fun here, and I think we're going to see a pretty good one over the course of our race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what you have going on in the East Division is incredible, especially with Mark Whitley being as dominant as he has been all season long. I mean, as you had mentioned, 5 wins across Talladega, Texas, and so on. But tonight, next week after we're done here tonight in Dover, we get to go out to Las Vegas and go check out that Nellis straightaway at the old airfield, if you will. Then we go out to Iowa to the Hawkeye State. We head on down for some sunshine in Homestead. And then all of a sudden, we're already at the round of 8. I feel like this season has really started to rip by. I mean, we're only in week number 6, but I feel like we just started a few weeks ago.
Yeah, season's gone by fast here in ARCA, and we're getting close to that playoff time here. And playoffs are always exciting on iRacing. We've got 10 drivers pulled up for your driver cams tonight across both the East and West Division races. So we've got quite a few different perspectives we're going to be able to give you as these drivers make their 100 laps around Dover. You see them all getting ready right there.
Yeah, Jake Ellingson has a whole lot of I don't give a darn going on. Of course, the Allen experience up there in the upper left corner. Talk about this is not a kid's show, as he's got a lung dart right there in the lower right. Then the Allen experience in the upper left. That is quite the driver from St. Louis. And, of course, we've got all kinds of excitement. We're going to be able to see these drivers work their way through this race.
I just like the G29 a couple of these drivers are rocking. As the Logitech G29 strongest warrior, I appreciate it when I see it being used by a driver. ARCA East is wrapping up qualifying right now, and in just a second we'll be able to get the start of that race to you. And the starting grid of that race to you as well as we get ready to roll here tonight. 22 cars in the field for ARCA East, so it's going to be a good field out here tonight. And on pole with the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award is the 74 Mark Whitley. Jacob Ellingson starts on the outside in P2. P3 tonight is going to be the 85 car of Jake Ham. Mark Cofield in the 97 goes from P4. Your second place finisher last week, Ryzen Baker, in the 77 will go from P5. Outside of him, James Goshen in the 085. Christian Angel rolls off 7th in the 79, with Alan Smith in the 00 in 8th. Patrick Fuller in the 13th rolls off 9th. Brandon Wallace in the 99 in 10th. Samuel Yosef in the 65 goes from 11th, with Andrew McGarrigle in the 05 car in P12. Jamie Libke rolls off 13th in the number 16. Sean Kaiser on the outside of row 7 in the 46. Claire Sisk goes from 15th in the number 12, and Timothy Williams goes from 16th in the 86. Rounding out your top 20 tonight, it's Joshua Unger in the 51, Benjamin Richards in the 56, Sedarius Days in the 45, and Jonathan Lawless in the 76. And your last 2 cars on the field tonight will be the 2 of Colton Sisk, and the 44 of John Houchin. As we get ready to roll for 100 laps around Dover here tonight. Mark Whitley, we've said it a couple times, has been the class of the field in ARCA East this season, and he will look to continue his domination here tonight at the 1 mile Dover Motor Speedway. As Ryzen Baker was 2nd last week, he'll roll off 5th here tonight, and he will look to upset Mark Whitley. Pit road speed 35 miles an hour here. 4 tire sets available for this race. 2 green, white checkered attempts if we need them, and we're at a 65% fuel load with an iRacing fixed setup. So these drivers, at some point during the course of this race, are going to have to make a pit stop here in order to get some fuel in that car. Your amateur winner last week will be looking to follow it up as well. That was Andrew McGarrigle, who brought it home in the amateur class, and we'll see what he can do tonight in that 05, although I believe he is rocking a pro banner this week, so we'll see how that all shakes out. Pace car pulls in at a 4, and as we get ready to go green, it's Whitley and Ellingson on the front row. Green flag at Dover. Already side by side for second, it's Jake Ham on top, it's Ryzen Baker on bottom. After a bad start for your outside pole sitter, Jake Ellingson lets both of those cars through. And now here comes the 79 of Christian Angel working on Ellingson as well. And he'll get P4 as they're still side by side for P2. Ryzen Baker is going to get the spot. He'll get clear up in front of Jake Ham. Fifth to second early for the 77, but the 85 isn't done fighting back just yet. And Jake Ham is to the inside on Ryzen Baker, door to door, down the front straightaway. Baker's got a little bit of an advantage here on that top line, trying to squeeze Ham down, but they both slide up the road a little bit there in the center of the corner. Lap 3 here at Dover, and Ryzen Baker continues to have the advantage in this side-by-side battle with Jake Ham. Looks like he might be able to get clear here if he gets the momentum off the corner. We'll see what he can do. Maybe, yes, Ryzen Baker clear at the line, but he can't quite get down in front of Ham. There he will. Ryzen Baker clear to P2 after starting out back in 5th. Big moves early for that 77 car. And now Christian Angel will try to challenge Jake Ham as well. That 79 car is taking a peek to the inside here on the 85 of Jake Ham, and he'll look to put that car back to 4th. Angel also moving up through the field in the early going. Near contact between those two cars as the 85 got down in front of him. They will stay tight for now. As Christian Angel started out back in 7th, tries to drive his way back up through the field, sits in 4th as Jake Ham is right back to the inside of Ryzen Baker, and he might be able to make the move here. Yes, he will. Jake Ham up into P2, Baker back into P3. Christian Angel still working P4 at the moment. Mark Whitley not out of the woods yet as Jake Ham, Ryzen Baker in this battle are right behind him. Even though they've been side by side, Whitley has been unable to create any space to these cars, and Ham and Baker are going to try to challenge Mark Whitley's dominance, although Jake Ham is in the wall hard off the corner. That might open up the door here for Ryzen Baker to get a challenge going once again on the outside of that 85 car. We'll go side by side through the corner, and he'll get a great run out. Ryzen Baker right back around. P2 traded for about the 4th time this race here, and we're already on lap 7. These cars have been going at it. It's Christian Angel now looking to the inside of that 85 car, trying to make that move stick once again. Couldn't do it earlier, but Ham is way up the road. Christian Angel through for P3 as Jake Ham maybe took some damage when he hit the wall there at a 4 because he is struggling to keep that car down. He's trying to get it underneath Christian Angel, and he's right to the bumper of Ryzen Baker there. That was close between those two cars. Everybody keeps it straight, and the 79 of Angel will go straight back to the bottom. Great racing early here at Dover. We still have not settled P2. They've been going at it for the entire race. So Mark Whitley is coming up on a lap car here already, and this could change this battle. Christian Angel sideways in the corner after contact with Jake Ham, and somehow he holds on to that 79 car, keeps that thing straight, but he will slide back to P7. Christian Angel in trouble there, and that lap car was Sedarius Days, who had a moment in the early portion of the race. He's now a lap down, joins Colton Sisk, who has gone 4 laps down with an accident here early on. As everybody makes their way back around the racetrack, and Christian Angel is putting it back on the attack. He's back around James Goshen, gets him up to P6, and he'll have a couple spots to go here. Mark Cofield in the 97, Jake Ellingson in the 27 still sit between him and Jake Ham, the car who made that contact and ultimately turned that 79 car sideways there. Jake Ham pushing to the inside. The 77 Ryzen Baker really using everything he can there. Oh, Christian Angel hard in the wall in the background. That is not going to help him in the slightest, as now Jake Ham continues to sit behind the 77 car Ryzen Baker, as these two have not decided this battle yet at all. Baker's had the advantage for now, and Ellingson might actually find his way into this battle as Jake Ham goes side by side with the 77 car. Off the corner there, still door to door. You're on board with Jake Ellingson here into 27 as he tries to find his way to the outside of this battle behind Ryzen Baker. Take a peek down to the inside. Ooh, they're tight off this corner as he tries to get around Jake Ham. Not going to go 3 wide there. He'll simply push the 85 into the corner, but if he really wanted to try it, he would have had a chance there as Ham tries to pass Ryzen Baker on lap 14 now. They've been going at it for second this whole time, and somehow still Mark Whitley has not gotten away. He's stayed right in this fight. These two have been right behind him pretty much this whole time. Whitley has been unable to drive away from these cars up in front of him. Really not what he wants. I think he would want to be able to get away from these cars, although the one good thing is, as Baker saves the spot there, gets P2, and Ham slides back to P4, Ellingson pouncing on his mistake. These cars are burning up tires pretty rapidly doing this battle, and Mark Whitley, who's hasn't really had any challenges, hasn't been side by side at any point since the start of this race, has really been able to save his tires, keep that car out front, and I think as this run goes on, Mark Whitley might be able to pull away on some fresher rubber, as Ryzen Baker is going to come right back under attack from Jake Ellingson. Can't get a second to breathe in that 77 car, and everyone is already back all over him. Finished second last week at Watkins Glen, but he has really had to work for it here tonight, just like he did last week. He had an early problem at Watkins Glen that put him all the way back. Had to drive through the field to get P2. And this first 17 laps at Dover, he's had to fend off basically the entire field. He's had Ellingson, Ham, Christian Angel, Mark Cofield to an extent, all going at him. And he has stuck to it every time. And has done a good job to hold this second position here early on in this race as the 27 continues to run on the inside. They slide up the corner. There's contact off the corner between those two cars. Ellingson got into the door of Ryzen Baker, but they keep it straight. That'll give a little bit of time to Mark Whitley in front as they're still door to door. Ellingson a little loose there is going to give Baker the advantage, but he can't get clear into the corner. And it's a dive from Jake Ellingson up the inside as they try to find second place. Into the wall goes Baker. More contact as we come across the start-finish line here. And maybe Jake Ellingson will finally be able to get clear as we work our way out of turn 2. Let's see what happens this time. Not quite. He's still side by side, and Ryzen Baker is going to be able to get that spot. These two are going at it right now for position. Neither one letting the other get away. There's more contact. They're both in the wall, both into each other, sliding down the front straightaway. I am not sure how they kept that thing straight, but they did. And now Jake Ham, Christian Angel, and Mark Cofield are all under a blanket trying to get to these two as well. Mark Whitley is clear up in front by now by about 0.8 of a second. But these two, after about 3 separate rounds of contact, still have not decided P2. Ryzen Baker is in the clear for the moment. Ooh, boy, I have to imagine some of these cars maybe took some damage in that. And that's going to slow them up here in the later stages of this run. Mark Cofield currently your AM leader by a solid 3 seconds right now over 11th place Patrick Fuller. He currently runs 5th overall. Under threat from that 79 car at Christian Angel. We'll see what he can do. Try and hold that spot. Angel was trying to get a move going earlier, but couldn't quite get it done. And now Jake Ellingson is trying to get back at Ryzen Baker. That gap is closing once again. Caution flies. Oh, big wreck on the front straightaway. Lawless Houchin and Samuel Joseph are totaled. What happened down there? You're going to have to find out, because that is a huge accident for all of those drivers. Ooh. This is going to start with Jonathan Lawless in the 76. He's going to get in the wall at a turn 4. Go back across the track into Joseph. Huge hit for both of those cars. And then John Houchin is collateral as the 65 came back up across the track. And that'll be our first caution of the night. Huge hits for all 3 of those cars there. That was a big one. So we're under caution. We'll see what the pit strategy is. These drivers do have 3 sets of tires that they can put on this car, and as the track only continues to heat up as we get later into the afternoon here at Dover, current sim time just shy of 2 p.m. I think we're going to see a lot of these drivers come down and take tires here and see what they do. And that will be the strategy. Everybody coming down here for tires at Dover. As we have our first DNF, John Houchin has left the session. He's done for the night. Those cars you see on pit road are probably going to have to take a fast repair before they can come back out onto the racetrack. We'll see if anyone can jump Mark Whitley coming out of the pit lane. Zedarius Days is going to stay out here. He's going to be the only car who stays out. I think he's looking for a wave around on this caution. He was 2 laps down at the time of yellow. Let's see who wins the race out of the pits. Mark Whitley's got the advantage in that first pit stall. So in theory, it'll be him, and in practice, it'll be him, Mark Whitley, out of the pits first in that 74 car. Ellingson out second, Ham third, Cofield fourth. And let's see who follows him out. Ryzen Baker is still in the pit road. He's going to fix some damage on that 77 car that I assume he took with the contact to the fence. And he is going to go all the way to the back of the field here. Pit stop time at 44 seconds and counting for your second place car, Ryzen Baker. So problems for him there after a lot of contact with Jake Ellingson. And that's going to put him way back in the field here. And he's going to have to do a lot to recover from that if he wants to bring it home in any sort of good position here tonight. Let's see how that all shakes out once these drivers get it work back around here. Quarter of the way through at Dover, and we're back double file here for the restart on lap 26. It's Mark Whitley led every lap this race back out of the pits in front in that 74 car, and he will look to hold this lead over the challengers that have been coming at him. Jake Ellingson, Jake Ham, Christian Angel back there as well, as these drivers have done battle all night long. James Goshen back there as well in the 085 will look to make his way up through the field. Your AM leader currently sits in P4. That's Mark Cofield in the 97, having a great race, sitting 6 spots up on your current 10th place driver in AM, Patrick Fuller. And if you're wondering, Ryzen Baker is going to go from P16 on this restart. A lot of ground to make up for the driver of that 77 car. So we'll get ready to go back green here. Pace car pulls in at a 4. On the front row, it's Mark Whitley and it's Jake Ellingson. Pace car is off. It's a great jump for Whitley. It's a terrible jump for Jake Ellingson. And we're back green at Dover. Jake Ham immediately jumps for P2 on the inside. And he'll get that spot pretty easily. Christian Angel is going to be able to challenge Jake Ellingson back now for P3, and we'll see if he can get that spot done as well, as Angel to the inside of that 27 car. We've seen some contact with drivers battling with Jake Ellingson today. These two are staying clean for the moment. Black flag has just been given to Colton Sisk. I'm not sure what the reasoning would be, but Colton Sisk already 3 laps down. Going to go another couple laps down, serving a black flag in that 2 car as Angel continues to battle with Jake Ellingson for position here. These cars not over this battle as we're wrecking pretty big in the background. Car hard into the inside wall down there. That is Benjamin Richards in the 56. No caution, but we saw him get up into that outside wall. There was quite a bit of contact that brought it out. He tagged the 51 of Joshua Unger. That's what's going to start this, as they made their way through turns 3 and 4. You'll see Richards come up the track there and just contact with Unger. And Richards is huge into that inside wall. Major damage for him. Not going to be ideal. I think he'll probably have to take a fast repair. Maybe just be out of the race there with the contact on that car. Considering he might have to tow it back into the pits. Battle going on behind him. Sean Kaiser to the outside. As we're trying to get a battle going for the lead here with Jake Ham doing everything he can to challenge Mark Whitley and get the run out of these corners. Might be able to do it here. Jake Ham looking up to the outside on the driver who's led every lap tonight in the 74. Mark Whitley, dominant, 5 wins in a row. Jake Ham wants to break up that dominance before we get to the playoffs. And he is running up on that high side, swooping it down at a turn 2, doing everything he can to maximize his run so that he can try to send in on that 74 car. He wants that run out of the corner more than he wants air, so he can try to make this move, but he's just not close enough yet. This might be his chance. Here he goes. Jake Ham to the inside, contact with Whitley as he doors him up the racetrack. And Jake Ham is through for the race lead on lap 32. I'm not sure how happy Whitley will be with the maneuver there, but it worked for Jake Ham, and he gets the position. Mark Whitley will have to re-rack and get back around him there in that 74 car. Ellingson sits third in the 27. Angel still working hard behind him. Cofield, Sean Kaiser, James Goshen. All those cars do battle in that battle back for 5th through 7th. Whitley is right back to Jake Hammond with a lap car of Benjamin Richards, fast repaired and fixed in front of him. He'll move to the top line. He won't play a role in this battle. We'll see what Whitley can do to track back down Jake Ham. Whitley was a little bit faster that last lap around, so he does seem to have the speed. And he is right on the bumper of that 85 car as this battle continues to go for the lead of this race. It's been a good one all night long at Dover. Haven't really had any dull moments here. Mark Whitley continues loose off the corner there to try to get up to Jake Ham in the 85 car. Digging on the inside. We'll see what that 74 can do as he rings that bottom line, looking desperately to catch Jake Ham. He's been a little bit faster both the last 2 times around, but I think the dirty air is really hurting that 74 car. It's hurting his ability to ultimately make this move and get this pass. Here we go, side by side for a moment there. Whitley unable to get what he needs, and he will stay back in that 2nd position as Jake Ham continues to search to the outside here. These 2 cars have been doing battle for a while here on lap 36 at Dover, and we continue to race. We see some cars getting loose there in the background. That was James Goshen nearly going around in the 085. Timothy Wilms working on him in that battle back there for P8. Battle's really forming all over the field here. We've seen quite a few cars get loose at Dover tonight, especially as the track temp continues to climb up to 103 degrees now. It's getting hot out here. As we continue to race around at ARCA East, excuse me, lap car in the way there, Ham. Jonathan Lawless nearly causing some problems. They're getting ready to go in ARCA West, so we're going to send it over to Dave Regal, and he will have your starting lineup and the start of the race from the ARCA West division. How's it going over there, Dave?
Well, it's going good. Qualifying just wrapping up, and getting the Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award here on the West Division. Going to be George Jewell, driver of the number 36. We want to thank our good friends over at Jam Printing and Promotion. They are local and veteran certified. When they do well, they can do more good in the community. They provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company. And they, of course, sponsor our Pole Award, and that goes to George Jewell tonight, as Tyler Justice going to crawl in alongside of him as well, and he's going to sit on the outside of row number 1. Starting on the inside of row 2, going to be Barrett Morton. He'll be joined by Brock Price in the 43. Starting in 5th position, going to be Sage Greco in his 93, with Thaddeus Friel Jr. in the 08 to the outside, starting in P6. Jason Kristen going to be in 7th, with Corinne Smith out of Muscatine, Iowa, starting in 8th, while the inside of row number 5 is Timothy Peters, and rounding out the starting top 10 is Huling Kauser. Wayne Newman in the 777, very fitting with the Bally's Casino on the backstretch here at Dover Motor Speedway. He'll be starting in 11th. So EO11 starting the 777. Logan Threlkeld starts in 12th. Noah Hoagie Hogard gets things rolling on the inside of row number 7, with Casey Jones starting in 14th. Jeremiah Holt gets things rolling on the inside of row number 8 with Jacob Lenke out of Toledo, Ohio. Go Mudhens starting in 16th. Daniel Parks in the 71. He's going to be starting in 17th position with Chuck Pegleg Feltz out of Los Alamos, New Mexico in 18th position. 19th goes to Ashton Azra Nolan with Kevin Price in 20th position. Hayden Muir going to start in 21st, with 22nd going to Armando Costa. And of course, the pride of St. Louis and House Springs, Missouri, the Allen Experience starts in 23rd with Larry Poling in the 69 starting out of Waterville, Ohio in 24th. So rounding out the field tonight, all 26 drivers going to be Brian Frauheiger out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Charles Stevens starting shotgun on the field out of Tampa, Florida. Tyler Justice rolls us off alongside with George Jewell out of Lakeview, Michigan, as we get things rolling forward now. The scheduled distance, as has been mentioned repeatedly tonight, 100 laps from Dover, Delaware, as drivers going to get things started now. And I'll tell you what, folks, this has been exciting to watch all night long, especially as these drivers have gotten themselves ready to rock and roll. And now as we get down into turn 3, the iRacing.com pace car ready to peel off down there. The 36 and the 33, everybody checks those straps on the gloves one more time. And as the iRacing.com pace car comes on into turn number 4, the only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab your popcorn, your honey buns, and settle in. Race fans, it's showtime! Green flag in the air, off we go, and already they're trying to do the Pennsylvania polka here. The accordion effect coming into turn number 1 for the 9 of Barrett Morton as the inside line doesn't get rocking good enough. Tyler Justice already jumping out in front of our pole sitter, George Jewell, and everybody scrambling for real estate here at the Monster Mile. Thaddeus Friel looks to the inside now of the 91. That's Wooling Kauser. They're trying to make it 3 wide. And, the 43 gets loose and up into the wall. That causes the 91 to kiss some wall as he hits the safer barrier. And now Barrett Morton looks to the inside. He's got the 30 of Logan Threlkeld. Santa Claus is up there on the high side in the M&M's machine. They try to hold things together here in the early goings. We get those timing and scoring lines set up here on the left side of your screen, and everybody's still looking for real estate as if it's musical chairs, and they're wrecking on the front stretch. The 34 is all kinds of sideways. That's Casey Jones. He's collected to the inside. And I think that's also the 80 of Kevin Price as it's not a victory donut, as he's going to have to try to get things fixed up here. Let's go to the V-Speed replay. You're watching the Glove Station ARCA series live on V-Speed. Let's watch this. This is the 80 of Kevin Price. And they were wrecking ahead of him. It looks like the 34 may have been part of the impetus for this, as it's going to take a minute to pull that up. Let's watch this from the 34's perspective, high above the Bally's Hotel and Casino. And off the 73 just collects him. That's Jeremiah Holt. And everybody checking out behind. That's the 42 of Ashton Azra Nolan in the Marlboro machine. My goodness, what a rough start to this one, as just 4 laps in, it looks like Nolan, he went to go high and just slammed right into the 34 of Casey Jones. So obviously he's going to have to cash in some Marlboro miles here and get that thing fixed up. And we're going to go back to the East Division as there's a big development going on there.
Yeah, we've got battles going on over here as the caution has flown over in the ARCA East race. Kind of shaking everything up here in terms of the running order. Mark Whitley was in an accident with Jake Ham, and that is what caused this yellow. You'll see it right here. Whitley gets into Ham off the corner, and then he kind of comes back up the road and takes out the 27 of Ellingson. Huge damage to that 27 car, and it just kept piling up. You see Colton Sisk involved, along with a couple others getting into it at the back of the field there. We're racing for the lead when it happened, and that is going to shake everything up over in ARCA East. Jake Ellingson, you see him there, sliding up under that 74 car, and then they kind of get stacked up here as they go around the lapper. 45 is Tadarius Days on the bottom. You'll see it through here. 74 just gets into Jake Ham. Contact and just gets him loose. He comes back up the track, tags Jake Ellingson, and that is not going to be the end of his race, but it is going to be the end of his first faster pair there. Christian Angel also taking some heavy contact in that as well. So a couple cars really torn up here. A couple good cars really torn up here at the front of the field. And those drivers are going to be lucky that they do have that faster pair, because otherwise they would be in some major trouble here for the rest of the race. So the whole field is into the pits here once again. And it's going to be a 4-tire stop, it looks like, for everybody, unless someone wants to play some strategy a little further back. Coming out of the pits, it will be... it's too close to call. We'll see who iRacing gives it to. Mark Whitley is pulling out in front like he got it. And I think he will. Mark Whitley wins the race off pit road over Jake Ham. Used that faster pair, won the race out. And Mark Whitley is going to keep the lead here at Dover. Jake Ham might have got a penalty. He's back to 4th. We're gonna check on this here. It does not appear that he got any sort of penalty, but Jake Ham is letting the entire field go by. I'm not seeing a black flag that would indicate why he is doing that, but we'll see. Maybe he got bought for speeding on exit or something along those lines. Trying to get that move done to get around that car. He was a little bit over the speed limit, and you saw him kind of brake to make sure he wasn't speeding, and that's when Mark Whitley kind of jumped him. We will see what's up with Jake Ham there in the 85, as he has gone all the way to the back of the field. I wonder if he did get some kind of pit road penalty there. Some kind of speeding, some kind of unsafe exit that might have caused him to go to the back of this field. We will have to check that out. We will have to, I'll do a little investigative journalism here as we get ready to go back green. We'll see if he did anything wrong on entry, on exit, any sort of speeding. He was speeding a little bit in the pit lane. Not sure if that was enough to earn him a penalty, but that might have been what did it. We're going to go back green here, and Jake Ham will be right back in the mid-pack. As up front, it'll be Mark Whitley on the front row. Christian Angel going from P2. Pace car is going to pull in. Whitley and Angel up on the front row. And as we head around turn 4, we'll see if Whitley can get another great jump here on the restart. Green flag back out at Dover. As these cars continue to do battle out here, we'll see who's able to get the spot. Whitley might have a penalty as well here, because he's going to dip it down into the pits. He does have a black flag, so penalty for Mark Whitley in the 74. He's going to have to roll down pit road, and that'll be the end of his hopes of winning 5 straight here in the Goat Locker Glove Station ARCA East Series. That was a penalty given by Race Control, so we're going to talk to them and see what exactly that was for. As right now, Christian Angel is out in front of the field. Brandon Wallace sits P2. Sean Kaiser sits P3. Cofield 4th. Wilms in 5th on this restart. And this is really shaking up the field here. Brandon Wallace, not someone we talked about up at the front of the field, but with Jake Ham and Mark Whitley both getting penalties, Brandon Wallace is sitting comfortably in P2. He went from 10th to 2nd. Sean Kaiser, your driver in P3, went from 14th to 3rd tonight. Timothy Wilms as well in 5th has gone from 16th to 5th. So some drivers really moving up through the field here tonight. On lap 60 on the ARCA East race at Dover, this is the battle for 2nd in the AM class. Andrew McGarrigle, your AM winner last week, makes the move to the inside there in the 05, beating out a 13 of Patrick Fuller, who's now also going to get passed by Jake Ellingson, who is on a charge back up to the front. Him, Ham, and Whitley are going to have pedal to the metal, although Whitley is 1 lap down, so he might be cooked here over the course of this race. He's really going to need to lock back in if he wants to find his way back to victory lane. Car hard on the wall back there. I believe that was Jamie Libke in the 16. sitting 4th in the AM division. So maybe some damage for that car. Under threat there from Claire Sisk and Alan Smith in the 00 and the 12 car back there, respectively, as we're going to go side by side for P2. That's Sean Kaiser up the inside here of not Mark Cofield, excuse me. Sean Kaiser up the inside of Brandon Wallace there in the 99. My iRacing focusing on literally every car except the one I was trying to find. Brandon Wallace will lose that position as Sean Kaiser gets the move done for P2, and now Mark Cofield, a leader of the AM class, trying to work his way up to 3rd on the inside of the 99 car. We'll see what he can do. Makes that move around the outside. Can't quite get clear. And Cofield nearly had some contact there off the corner as we continue to do battle for P3. Cofield holding that inside line over Brandon Wallace as these two continue to fight. Cofield might have it. Let's see what he can do. On the inside, looks like he's got it. Mark Cofield to P3. Sean Kaiser into the wall and a little bit squirrely there in that 46 car. Nearly had a moment for him. Cofield, Wallace, and Tim Wilms all under a blanket back here from 3rd through 5th as the battle still rages on here in the ARCA East race at Dover. Battling for the lead once again is Christian Angel and Sean Kaiser. Christian Angel really taking advantage of the misfortune of those 3 cars to get himself up front. Jake Ellingson in 7th. Long way to go to get himself back up to the lead. We are going to swap it over here now in just a second to this ARCA West race as they get ready to go back green on lap 12. Dave, how's it going?
Well, we already have gone back green as Barrett Morton has taken over the race lead from Huling Kauser as Kauser now has fallen into P2. Our pole sitter, George Jewell, has slipped back into 5th position. As we turn our attention back here on lap number 13, they go single file here ahead of everybody else. Barrett Morton with a nice little gap, about 0.3 of a second over Huling Kauser. We start looking here as Tyler Justice lays fast time down at 23.15 seconds. We've already had another caution as we keep it right here on our leaders. Of course, that was brought out by the 42 again. That was Ashton Azra Nolan. And down pit road for quite some time was Casey Jones getting required repairs done and opting not to use the fast repair from the first caution. So now we've already had a pair of them. As side by side, watch them go. That's the 37 of Jacob Lenke here as he works to the inside of the 777 of Wayne Newman. And the Ann Arbor, Michigan native holding onto the high side, rubs some wall, and now opens the door for Daniel Parks to work to the low side. They go side by side, nearly touching here, coming out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. All of a sudden, Newman has to get out of the way. Hello, Newman, says the 82 as now he slides right in behind. That's Jason Christen working here on lap number 16. We go just a little bit further up. There's Parks ahead of this little clan now as the 94 of Charles Stevens out of Tampa, Florida, has worked his way up 17 positions from dead last and now challenges for the overall 8th position. And now the 94, you can see here on the left-hand side of your screen, he's running 7th up in the Pro Division. And then, of course, Thaddeus Friel Jr., that is, leading the AM division. Of course, we can check that out right here on the left side of your screen. We see Jacob Lenke running P2, then Daniel Parks running in 3rd. A pretty rough night for Alan Bergen back here in the 89. He runs overall in 19th, and then, of course, just falling out of that top 15 in the AM. Taking a look here at the 70. Oh, sorry, we just flipped forward here to the 91. That's Huling Kauser. As we have a battle for the lead starting to brew now. Barrett Morton with about just less than 0.2 of a second having to hold off Huling Kauser. He's got a rear view mirror full of Kauser, and Kauser trying to hold off Timothy Peters. I mean, this is officially a 3-way battle for the lead between these drivers, and nobody really knows who it's going to be, especially when you're just 20 laps of 100 in here at Dover Motor Speedway. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, of course, to the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series West Division, and of course Sky Shrek over on the East Division. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us, making us a part of your evening. You're watching a 3-way battle for the lead here in the West Division. And Barrett Morton leads the way. But slowly but surely now, he hasn't come down pit road yet. Nobody has, with the exception of a couple of damaged drivers. So you're going to start to see some of the age of these tires come into play. Now, the Louisville, Kentucky native Barrett Morton, he is pretty good at saving those rubbers. But, overall, we're going to run into some trouble as now they work their way around the 03. That's Brian Frauheiger, as he's got to get out of the way and cede some real estate. And now they put Hayden Muir down a lap. So all of a sudden, these front three drivers have become the Pied Pipers of Dover Motor Speedway right here in Delaware. Of course, if you can't think of anything else exciting to do in Delaware, you guessed it, coming to the racetrack. This is one heck of a place to go. And I'll tell you what, folks, getting around this piece as a driver is incredible. What you don't realize from up here in the tower, up here in the booth, is, the amount of transition that these drivers are having to go through as they roll out of 4 and down the front stretch. They have to be able to hold that throttle open just enough to keep momentum, but at the same time not lose the rear end, which is something that we talked about in pre-race. Side by side goes the 30 of Logan Threlkeld. Santa holding his ground over top of the 36. That's our P2 sitter. That's George Jewell. I'm sorry, our pole sitter, George Jewell. My apologies. Out of Lakeview, Michigan. As now it looks like Jewell has settled in ahead of Threlkeld. Looks like Jewell going to work his way here for the time being as they roll out of turn 2 and down the back chute. We go to another battle raging here. That's the 158 of Noah Hoagie Hogard working it out with Brock Price as they go side by side. Now Price works his way ahead of Hoagie, but puts his sights on the 777 of Wayne Newman. And, once again, it's a pretty fitting thing with Bally's overlooking the backstretch here. The 43 now gets just ahead of the 158, and now the 73 of Jeremiah Holt looks to see if he can get around that left rear quarter panel of the 777 of Wayne Newman. So Newman having a little bit of a rough night. He qualifies P11, runs in 14th now. Our biggest movers of the night so far are Charles Stevens, Jacob Blanke, and Daniel Parks. They're all up 8 positions each at this moment as we're 27 laps in of 100 here in the ARCA Series West Division. Of course, some of these Pro and Am, it's one thing when we're discussing the Pro and Am divisions here in the GLR ARCA Series, but then, of course, we split up into East and West. But let's take a look at this split. Barrett Morton, of course, leading the way as we fill in that top 10. Our leader here in the Am side, that's Thaddeus Friel. He runs overall 6, but leads Am drivers. And I'll tell you what, Thaddeus Friel making his appearance here in the GLR Glove Station ARCA Series. This is somebody who's out to make a name for himself. He's got to be able to get something done, and to do it in, at least from what I can gather, his debut here tonight. This is a guy who we're going to see a lot from later on in the season. Right now he's trying to hold off Sage Greco as Greco sits just behind in the Zinn Chevrolet, trying to get all up on Friel. And just as we watch this battle and we cool things down here, we're going to head on over to the East Division. Sky, what's happening out east?
We're getting ready for a restart here on lap 77. We got some update on Mark Whitley. The caution was for wrecking, or excuse me, the black flag was for him wrecking Jake Ellingson. That's what led to that yellow. We're going to go back green here in ARCA East. Pit stops for every single car except for the 46 of Sean Kaiser, who stayed out and is going to be running on 23 lap old tires. We'll see how it works for him. But as Christian Angel makes his way around, preliminary signs are not well for the driver of that 46 car. We'll see if he can hold on. It's now Brandon Wallace jumps up to the outside of him. He's got Jake Ham and Jake Ellingson pushing behind him as well, as these two continue to work. Ham to the inside down here, looking for P3. Ham and Ellingson have had to drive all the way back up through the field. Ellingson after a crash, Ham after a penalty, and he's going to make contact with Wallace. Almost 3 wide down into the corner here. This is going to be interesting. Wallace will hold the position right now. Ellingson working on the top side, but Jake Ham not letting go yet. Now Wallace will dive to the inside of Kaiser on those worn tires. Christian Angel, by the way, while this is going on, has pulled out a 7/10 of a second lead. He's dominating right now, and if he can hold that lead, he might be able to bring home his first win in ARCA East. There goes Jake Ham. Save it, save it. Can he save it? Yes. Whoa. I am not entirely sure how no one wrecked there, but they all managed to keep it straight. And Jake Ham is still in this race, fighting with the 77 Horizon Baker, who's had to recover from some problems himself. This is Jamie Libke going at it with Mark Cofield for the lead of the amateur class. These two drivers running P8 and P9 overall. Jamie Libke trying to get her first AM class win of the year. She's a little loose off the corner, but so is Cofield. Here comes Mark Whitley. He's got his lap back, and he's trying to shoot up through the field right now. Sitting in 11th at the moment. Exciting driving going on back here. Couple cars loose off the corner. That's going to really slow up Mark Whitley. He's going to have to re-rack as Jamie Libke gets clear. And now it's Cofield and Fuller for the battle for second in the AM class. And Mark Whitley really wants to pass these cars, but these two are racing for an important position, and they are not going to let him have it. Whitley going to need to work his way around if he wants to get anywhere near the lead, as you've got cars loose down there. Back up front, Brandon Wallace still in hot pursuit of Christian Angel, and he's got James Goshen in the 085 tailing him as well. Sean Kaiser on those worn tires has fallen all the way back to 7th. It's not working out well for that 46 car, but it is working out pretty well for the drivers who took new tires, like Angel and Wallace and Goshen, who are running really well up here in your top 2 or 3 spots. Trying to bring it home, as you see Angel in the wall there. Not great for him. He's going to have to re-rack here, make sure he doesn't hit the wall again, or else he could give himself some pretty decent damage that would really harm his chances of winning this race. As he sits up here in the lead, Brandon Wallace still hounding him from P2. Neither of these drivers have a pro class win yet this season, but they're looking for one right now. And also, a little extra motivation for the 99 of Brandon Wallace. It is his birthday today, so a win on his birthday would likely be pretty fun for the driver of that 99 car, who started in 10th and has driven it all the way up to P2. And a pretty good race for him here tonight. Has still got Goshen back there in 3rd. We're going to see if Ham and Ellingson, those true drivers who got sent to the back of the field in 4th and 5th respectively, are able to catch up to these 3 cars that have really pulled away up here at the front, or if they are going to stay back there in 4th and 5th and not really play a factor in this finish like it looked like they would for much of this race. 0.2 of a second now separating Angel and Wallace, as this battle is anything but done in ARCA East. You've got Goshen back there in the 085 as well. Don't count him out yet. He could play a role still in this finish. Just have to see what happens. Wallace dives to the inside of Christian Angel. We'll see if he can get the move done here. He doesn't quite have enough momentum, and he's going to have to back out. Goshen into the wall back there is going to hurt the momentum on that 085 car. We're 12 laps to go now at Dover, and that seems like a lot, but with 23-second lap times here, that'll be gone in the blink of an eye. Brandon Wallace needs to get that move done now if he is going to get it done for the lead of the race. He's been steady under 0.2 of a second. Christian Angel was a little bit faster that last lap around by about 0.04. Maybe that'll be enough to give him what he needs and get that spot over Brandon Wallace. We're battling for the amateur class lead as well. Jamie Libke up in 7th, holding that lead over Mark Cofield up in 8th. Cofield about a half second back. Libke was a little bit faster that last time around, and as we take 10 to go in the Glove Station ARCA East race from Dover, Jamie Libke looking like she's going to hold on with a 0.1 of a second faster lap compared to Mark Cofield that last time around. This would be Jamie Libke's first amateur class win of the season. And she will look to get it done here tonight. As back up front, Brandon Wallace is still all over Christian Angel, and Jake Ellingson turning some good laps, has joined the fight. He was over 0.2 quicker than Christian Angel that last time around. Do not count this 27 car out yet. He's got 8 laps to pass 3 cars and try to find his way into victory lane, but they're side by side for second in front of him as Goshen tries to get around Brandon Wallace for P2. Ellingson all over the bumper of Goshen there, doing all he can to join this fight. We'll see if he sends it 3 wide. He won't. He will push Goshen down the straightaway. And that gets that 085 car a little squirrely here. 7 to go at Dover. Laps running down. Christian Angel holds your lead. Will go 3 wide for P2 behind him. Jake Ellington with a huge move to the inside. James Goshen backs out. He'll go back to 4th as Jake Ellington steals P3, but he can't get away from Brandon Wallace. And as these two cars are going to fight it out for P2, Christian Angel is going to get a gap. Half a second now separates Angel from Wallace with 6 laps to go at Dover. Time is running out for Ellingson. He's going to get a move to the inside here of Brandon Wallace. We know he's had speed all night, but he has had to fight his way back up through the field, so you wonder if those tires are in the best condition here to be making these moves. Maybe not, because he can't get clear, and the more these two fight and the more these two slide up the racetrack trying to get a battle going, Christian Angel is going to be able to pull away. 5 to go at the line for Christian Angel, who's pulled out a 1-second lead over Jake Ellingson. He sits P2, Wallace sits P3, still fighting back on that outside. But Ellingson has the clear advantage in that battle. Jake Ham joining the fight here for some points as he's dove that car up the inside of James Goshen. 4 to 4, 4 to go at Dover for your top 4 positions right here as Jake Ham continues to try to work his way around James Goshen. 85 car versus the 085 car. We got 3 drivers named Jake in the top 5, so maybe a key to the race there is be named Jake with 4 to go. James Goshen will hold that spot over Jake Ham right now. We have 2 drivers named Jake. My brain's not working. James Goshen is sitting in 4th as Christian Angel continues to dominate this race. 3 to go now. He's opened up a 1-second lead, and unless Jake Ellingson taps in here and starts running some hero laps or Christian Angel has some sort of mistake, looks like the 79 car is going to be the one to bring it home. 2 to go at the line. Just needs to go 1 more. And this race will be official for the driver of the 79 as Goshen and Ham continue to do battle for P4 and P5. That battle not quite decided yet as Jake Ham is going to run him up the track off the corner. James Goshen will ultimately prevail, though. He will take P4. And Ham will have to do a lot as the white flag flies for Christian Angel as we come around here in the ARCA East race at Dover. He is going to grab his first win of the season here in ARCA East. It's been 5 straight for Mark Whitley, but his domination ends tonight. 79 car is going to make his way around turns 3 and 4, and as we head out onto the back straightaway, Christian Angel gets his first win of the year. Coming for the lead of the amateur class, Jamie Libke gets turned at the line. Give it to Mark Cofield. And I do not think Libke is going to be happy about that one because she was turned by a pro class driver there. Woo! Ryzen Baker got into Libke, turned her around out of 4, and Mark Cofield is going to end up getting it by a nose there. So Christian Angel is going to get to burn it down here. We will get a replay of what happened to Jamie Libke as Ryzen Baker just got tight off the corner and went straight into the left rear there. And that's really unfortunate for that 16 car. Ooh. Looked like it would have been her first ARCA East race of the season. And just gets turned out of the corner. And that's ultimately going to give it to Mark Cofield there by a nose at the line. Mark Cofield has had a couple of good results in the AM class this season. I don't believe he has pulled out a AM class win yet. I think this might be his first. But he will get the win tonight over Jamie Libke as we're going to pull into the booth now. Your race winner, Christian Angel. Christian, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. What a race.
First win of the season for you. How's it feel?
Dude, it feels so good, man. I've been so close so many times this season, right behind my teammate, Mark Whitley. So it's been a little bit bittersweet finishing second every time. So glad I could finally get the job done, man. Get that monkey off my shoulder.
42 laps led tonight, and you were really trying to hold them off at the end. How is it like racing with those guys like Jake Ellingson back there, Brandon Wallace, who are trying so hard to get around you?
I mean, honestly, man, I was just managing. The clean air is such an advantage here. So really, I was just managing my tires, just kind of trying to run that second lane. And once they get the bottom, you could kind of just chop their nose off and really just drift them up the track. So I was just kind of trying to manage in enough of a gap to where they couldn't get to me. Make a late race push into turns 3 and 4 and move me out the way. And just give myself enough of a room where I could run that high lane, not burn my stuff up and be able to cut them off and maintain that clean air.
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
Let me go ahead and thank Lionel Tech, Save 22, obviously Glove Station and the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs. I'd also like to thank Harpoon Design, Brantley, my spotter Daryl tonight, our good friend Vector, my teammate Mark, obviously. Mark's been on a big win streak, as you guys obviously know in this league. So for me to be able to continue the team win streak here is really big for us, being able to carry that momentum. Obviously we're getting closer to the playoffs here. So really big night for us. If Mark can't win, then I try to win, so whenever one of us can win for Harpoon Design, it's a pretty good night. And if you need a paint, go check out harpoondesign.com.
All right, congrats on the win tonight, Christian Angel.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great night.
And Mark Cofield is the winner of our AM class, but it does not look like he's available for an interview. So we're going to try to circle back around to Cofield at the end of our broadcast here tonight. 44 laps to go in ARCA West. Dave Regal, take it away.
Here we are on lap number 56 as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Daniel Parks involved in a little incident just a few moments ago once again, but we get ready to go and off we are. Now with Huling Kauser, he qualified P10, hops out to the race lead, and off we go now. 43 left as Barrett Morton going to follow him closely, but they're side by side just behind. Watch the 93 and the 30. They go wheel to wheel coming down into turn 3. And they're looking to see if either one of them is going to back off, and it's not going to happen. The 93 of Sage Greco just packed another Zinn pouch up into their lip, and all of a sudden, everything nice and easy as the nerves settle down. They go window net to window net coming out of turn 2 and down the back chute one more time here, and they can almost touch each other through the window nets as now the wheels nearly come together. This is quite a battle already now for third position. Right now, the 30 of Logan Santa Threlkeld not willing to let anybody go. And the one driver that's more than happy to watch this go on is Tyler Justice. Justice following behind, just watching this battle unfold. You guys go ahead, burn your stuff up, get rid of those sticky tires there, and wait till things start slip sliding around. Drivers just coming in on lap number 53, 54 for pit service after that third caution of the evening, so they should be ready to rock and roll and get to the end of this one. All things considered, want to thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of your evening here. You're watching the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series West Division. You just heard the end of the East Division. We're able to do that simulcast, which is only available through the magic of Eddie Smith and these folks here at V-Speed. Huling Kauser leads the way for the Pro Division. He's got Barrett Morton, Logan Threlkeld, Sage Greco, Tyler Justice, and of course, then we go all the way back here to Casey Jones running in P11. Meanwhile, Thaddeus Friel Jr., he leads the way for those AM drivers. Then he's got, of course, none other than the 43 following behind, and that, of course, is Tyler Price. Then the 3 machine, that's Corinne Smith there in the 10. I'm sorry, P3 is the 10 machine. Chuck Pegleg Feltz in the 4. Noah Hoagie Hogard rounds out the AM top 5. And I'll tell you what, I've been watching Hoagie for the last couple of seasons, and this is a driver who right now is out here battling with the 777, and that's Wayne Newman. Now, Newman down a lap right now. It's actually 3 laps overall. But, you still don't want to give up that track position. You still earn your position up there. You still have to let drivers get around you, as now the caution flies for the 4th time this evening. Let's take a look here at the replay and see what happens. Looks like something maybe involving Brian Frauheiger. Let's take a peek. And folks, you'll never believe this when you see it here on the replay, but it looks like Ashton Azra Nolan gets into the 03. Watch the lung dart machine come up here to Frauheiger, and Frauheiger kisses the wall and comes down into the 42. I'll tell you what, the 42 has hit everything but the hot dog stand tonight. It has been a rough night for Azra Nolan. As now we work here on lap number 64. Let's watch this, and yeah, the 03 bounces off the wall and ricochets down into the 42. So that one definitely not going to be blamed on the 42. Oy, what a mess. That's going to shuffle things around here, as of course now I've got to switch my own stuff. When we go back green flag racing, it's going to be Huling Kauser, Logan Threlkeld, Tyler Justice, Brock Price. Sorry, not Tyler Price, but Brock Price. George Jewell, that's your top 5. Chuck Pegleg Feltz and Jason Kristen, that's your top 7. And of course, Price going to be Brock Price going to be our AM leader. Huling Kauser going to be our pro leader. And one of the things that I picked up on, and we didn't really talk about it because we really haven't had time to talk about it. Joseph McWhorter missing from tonight's starting lineup when we finished qualifying. So kind of an interesting development, especially, of course, over in the East Division. Now they have a team winning streak of 6, but McWhorter not able to go for the back-to-back wins here after the win at Watkins Glen 2 weeks ago. So Huling Kauser behind the iRacing.com pace car. So we've got a couple of laps until we go back green flag racing. We want to thank our friends at Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses, and they are the title sponsor of the fall series. And of course, we couldn't do anything without Glove Station here on a Monday night. At Glove Station, we're committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs, from tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between. We've got you covered. With endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs. Head on over there to glovestation.com. As 2 by 2 they go. Going to be Kauser, Threlkeld, Price, Justice, Feltz, Jewell, Hogard, Kristen, Greco, and Morton, your restarting top 10 as we go down to the digger cam here on the entrance of Turn 3 as we cross under the Axalta coating systems. Of course, Axalta is the great-grandchild of the DuPont company, founded right here in Delaware. And just up the road, as a matter of fact, you can check that out. The iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road. Huling Kauser with control of the field on the high side, hits the restart zone, drops the hammer, and we are back underway here at Dover Motor Speedway. Several drivers trying to go side by side, but Kauser not wasting any time going single file. The 33 of Tyler Justice sliding just in front of Brock Price as the 33 and the 43 get themselves sorted out here. Then we go back a little bit further. Chuck Pegleg Feltz out of Los Alamos, New Mexico, taking the nuclear option here. Oh, the 158 kisses the wall. That's going to cost him some momentum. That's Noah Hoagie Hogard now sliding back behind the 93. And now he's got the 08 just to the low side. It's going to be a rough night here as hopefully they don't make contact, but that is closer than close. That's for sure as we work on lap number 68 of 100 here at Dover Motor Speedway. You're watching the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series live on V-Speed. The 08 of Thaddeus Friel now able to slide on by, and of course Friel was just leading the AM division drivers and now sets his sights, of course, on none other than Chuck Pegleg Feltz and the 43 of Brock Price. And Brock Price just one position off from making the natural podium here at Dover. So a pretty impressive run. We had a natural podium finisher from the AM division in the East race 2 weeks ago at Watkins Glen. We're looking to do it again right here at Dover Motor Speedway. So a pretty exciting evening so far here at Dover. 71 laps in the books. We are 30 to go as we look out the rear view deck lid here of Huling Kauser. He's got a rear view mirror full of Logan Threlkeld, and Threlkeld is more than happy to hit his marks and make sure that he knows, hey, listen, I've got a lot of race to go here. I'm not going to burn this stuff up, especially when you've got 30 laps. I mean, you just came down on lap number 54, and now you're looking at, 30 to go, just under 30 to go, now at 29. And taking a look, there is Santa. Logan Threlkeld in his Buc-ee's hoodie. If he's trying to make a fashion statement, I don't know what it is. I guess he's bringing the child's jammies back. Talk about festive. But totally hyper-focused there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen as he is chasing down Huling Kauser. And, Threlkeld overall, he's got a lot of work to do to get up there, especially now that that gap is about a half second. But all things considered, there's plenty of race left. We look a little bit further back here, and there's some side-by-side action between the 08 and the 82. That's Thaddeus Friel and Jason Kristen. As Kristen's working the high side on the 82, now rubs the wall. That's going to give some room back to the 08. You've got to be careful there because you don't want to wind up, allowing your car to bounce off that safer barrier. Oh, just like that, my goodness. Oh, boy. The 82 bouncing off the safer barrier. You don't want to wind up ricocheting helplessly down into the driver underneath you, and that right now would have been Thaddeus Friel. But now Friel starts to scamper away from the 82. He said, let me get out of here real quick, folks, because I'm not trying to get a windshield full of the 08. Barrett Morton, meanwhile. Now, Barrett, he qualified P3, currently running in P4 out of Louisville, Kentucky. He's got a nice amount of real estate in front and behind, so not really much of a concern as far as keeping the 9 car clean. But, the driver who's going to win this thing tonight is going to have a cleaner car than just about anybody else's as we go on board now with the 9. Looking out through that windshield, Barrett Morton now taking matters into his own hands as he's going to be pushed along. He's got a little bit of an aero helper out of George Jewell. Jewell, of course, your pole sitter, creeping just behind Morton. So it's going to go Morton and then Jewell. And Morton's being pushed along now up toward Tyler Justice, driving the 33. The 33 now trying to get a little bit closer to Logan Threlkeld, but for the time being, it looks like they're going to maintain that distance. I just happened to see a moment ago that Noah Hogarth was able to get around Timothy Peters, and now that's a deeper battle in the field, but the 18 now working his way up into 11th position here as we've still got a battle raging. Oh, toward the front here, a kiss of the wall, and suddenly we've got side-by-side action between Tyler Justice and the 9 of Barrett Morton. And Barrett Morton was there like a lion in the Serengeti, ready to pounce right on his prey, as now he is drawn within less than a tenth of a second behind Tyler Justice. We work here with 22 laps to go at Dover Motor Speedway. It goes Kauser, Threlkeld, Morton, Justice, Jewell, your top 5. And of course, Brock Price running in 6th position, just one spot out from the natural top 5. Leads your AM drivers with Friel, Feltz, and Hogarth just behind. Things starting to heat up here with just 21 laps to go at Dover Motor Speedway. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, hanging out with us tonight right here on V-Speed. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. Morton's got 10-lap fresher tires. Might want to start thinking about that, especially because, he came in at lap 64. Threlkeld and Kauser, they each came in on 54. Now the question becomes, is Morton saving? And does he save enough to try to get up there? And when do you pounce? Do you have to cook too much of that grip out to get up there and close that now 0.3 of a second gap? Or do you go for it? There's still a reasonable chance that we go under caution here late in this one as we work now with 19 laps to go at Dover Motor Speedway. And of course, we also want to talk about our fundraiser here at, of course, Goat Locker Racing. While the on-track action always proves exciting, the primary function of Goat Locker Racing has always been making sim racing a reality for veterans and first responders. And at our most recent fundraising event, Goat Locker Warriors raised over $5,000 in just 1 week, allowing for the awarding of a sim rig to a deserving first responder. And your unwavering support lets more heroes enjoy the gift of camaraderie and racing 5 nights a week. And all 5 of those nights, it's free, it's competitive, it's televised. So to further continue this extraordinary journey, you can scan the QR code on your screen for more information or visit goatlockerracing.org. And of course, I have to say, and I know that Sky and Eddie can empathize with this, Goat Locker Racing as a community, as a family, is addicting. Last year I came along here with SRM and was broadcasting these races on a Monday night, and when things changed, I said, I really want to stay with Goat Locker. It's just a great group of people. And of course, it's nothing but the greatest of all causes, and that's supporting our first responders and veterans right here. And, it takes the community as a whole and just makes it so much smaller and so much more intimate, and we appreciate that. Speaking of appreciating things, Sage Greco can appreciate good space on the racetrack as the 93 now, the Zin machine, starting to pull up right behind the 33 of Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice now going side by side, having to give up that 4th position to Sage Greco. And now Logan Threlkeld moves into 3rd. So your podium as it stands right now is Kauser, Morton, and Threlkeld. Sage Greco running in 4th, Tyler Justice running in 5th, and now George Jewell, our pole sitter, making his recovery drive up deeper into the field. It's getting pretty interesting, all things considered, as now we've got a 3-way battle here for 5th position as the 33 and the 43 look on from behind. We're starting to see maybe a little bit of why Brock Price qualified on the pole and maybe has something up his sleeve as well. As we mentioned, Barrett Morton with 10-lap newer tires. So does Sage Greco. Sage Greco and, of course, Thaddeus Friel Jr., our leader, our former leader, there from the M division, checking out those bolts down there in Tampa. That would be none other. Oh, it just disappeared off the screen. But regardless, hockey season is back. The 91 of Huling Cows are now opening up a 2 1/4 second lead over Barrett Morton. And they are side by side just behind Morton. That's Greco and Threlkeld, as they are going to go door handle to door handle coming out of 2 and down the backstretch. This is going to be one heck of a battle right to the very end. These drivers aren't going to let anything slide. And if there's one thing that we've learned about Logan Threlkeld over this season here in the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series, he's a fighter. He's not about to be put to bed early tonight, as now he holds the high line just above the 93 of Sage Greco. And Greco in the Zin machine trying to hold on to that. Oh! And I saw a driver down below. That's scary, but nothing doing yet, as they are still side by side is Threlkeld and Greco. Suddenly we are 9 laps to go. Don't look now, folks, but this one is almost wrapped up, even though the 3rd position hasn't been decided yet. This is the last step on the podium. 1st and 2nd kind of, P1, P2 kind of decided already, but these drivers not ready to give up, as now the 93 has a little bit of an edge over Santa. And I mean, who's going to put Santa down a position? Well, the answer is Sage Greco. As we work here now, Greco slides just in front of Logan Threlkeld, and now with just 8 laps to go, Sage Greco fighting their way over top of Logan Threlkeld. Threlkeld can do nothing, almost feeling, a little helpless, especially because now both of those drivers that came down on lap 64 for tires are suddenly, that cream rising to the top. Huling Cows I would say, would be a sitting duck if Huling had more of a race to try to defend here. But with just 7 laps to go, it's going to be a rough one for Huling to hold off. It's going to go Kauser, Morton, Greco, Threlkeld, Jewell. That's going to be your natural top 5, with Justice, Price, Friel, Peters, and Chuck Pegleg Felts rounding out your top 10. But now the 93 and the 9 start to heat things up again. The 93 and the 9, now they're out there on equal, pit strategies with 5 laps to go. The question really becomes who can hold it off and who did the better job at saving a little bit of grip, who's got a better entry. And really here it's about holding things together on turn exit, as now the 91 is going to have to fight with some lap traffic. That's the 69 of Larry Poling Jr. Barrett Morton still holding off Sage Greco, at least for right now, but that lap traffic can be a hindrance to Kowser, and at the same time maybe a good thing, sort of using them as a pick to put the space between Kowser and Morton. And of course, with 3 laps to go, we cross the start-finish line here on lap number 98, and everything seems pretty well sealed up now for Julian Kowser at Dover Motor Speedway. It's going to be Julian Kowser, Barrett Morton, and Sage Greco when they come out of turn number 4. This time by, it's going to be 2 laps to go here at Dover Motor Speedway. You've been watching the Glove Station ARCA Series live on V-Speed. And Julian Kowser has just absolutely set sail after qualifying in P10. The story of the night is, how do you qualify P10 with all of these great drivers around and still come home with the checkered flag? Obviously, they figured out a way. Brock Price, your leader right now in the AM division, running 7th overall, leading the AM drivers. And now, with just 1 lap to go, the white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers. Julian Kowser has shown everybody what he's made of tonight as he runs down the backstretch one final time and dives into turn 3. The battle still raging back here between the 30 and the 36. This might be something as Kowser comes out of 4 and crosses the start-finish line. Julian Kowser gets the win here in the West Division for the pros. And now we go back to see Brock Price in the 43 rolling through as well, picking up the win in the AM division. So a congratulations goes to Brock Price as well, finishing 7th overall and winning for the AM drivers tonight here in the West Division. So a congratulations after leading 67 laps and qualifying in P10. Julian Kowser comes home the race winner tonight at Dover Motor Speedway. Of course, Julian going to go down here and celebrate on the front stretch just in front of the fans here on the grandstand, deserving every bit of the smoke that's going into that window net right now. I want to thank everybody for hanging out for this one. When we come back, we'll have your driver interviews from the ARCA West race right here on V-Speed.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Welcome back to Dover Motor Speedway. We're here with you now, or here with us now is our race winner on the pro side, Huling Kauser of the West Division. Huling, listen, what a great performance you put together tonight. You qualified P10, you finished with the checkered flag. You've got to be feeling pretty good right now.
I'm feeling pretty awesome, I tell you that.
I mean, how do you go from qualifying P10 to leading 67 laps? I mean, that's literally 2/3 of this race.
Well, I gotta tell you, I just followed people's line. Is you figure stuff out when you're just driving along. You gotta let the car settle into the corner, and I just found the best thing that worked for me, and it was just hauling around the bottom of the racetrack. I tell you.
Yeah, I mean, you were definitely able to wrap the bottom, and I mean, you started gapping everybody. I mean, I think your final gap was, just about 2.65 seconds. It was incredible. But what a performance tonight from the 91 machine. I mean, a great job for you here at Dover. What are you looking forward to as we turn the calendar and look at next week?
I'm mostly looking forward to just racing with more of these guys here. They're a blast to race around. I can't thank Goat Lock Racing enough for allowing me to come out and race with these amazing people. Best thing ever. We just got to wait for Las Vegas. Can't wait for that.
Absolutely. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done tonight on the 91 machine?
Well, first of all, I need to thank my team, my team, Lumet Motorsports, for allowing me to, you know, drive this beautiful '91 Lawson Products Toyota Camry around. Got to thank Daniel, my scheme creator, for making this beautiful paint. Man, I couldn't do it without him and a bunch of my friends and a bunch of my family. I couldn't do it without them.
All right, my friend. Well, once again, congratulations. We'll see you next week at Las Vegas.
All right, thank you. You have a good one.
Absolutely. The voice of your race winner here on the pro side. That's Huling Kauser. And last but certainly not least on the interview docket this evening, just kidding, we do not have our AM driver, so we will be foregoing that. But Sky, listen, you had a great performance over on the east side. Of course, we had an even better performance, at least in my opinion, here on the west side. But let's go over those final race results from your east side drivers.
Yeah, we'll take one more look at the finishing results here in the pro class from ARCA East. Christian Angel wins, Jake Ellingson P2, Brandon Wallace, James Goshen, Jake Ham, the rest of your top five. And then from there, it's Ryzen Baker, Timothy Wilms, Mark Whitley, and Sean Kaiser finished 9th in the pro class. In the amateur division, winner was Mark Cofield in the 97 with Jamie Libke in second, Patrick Fuller third, Alan Smith in the 00 P4, Claire Sisk P5, last car on the lead lap. Then from there, it's Joshua Unger, Samuel Yosef, Jonathan Lawless, and then your DNFs, Andrew McGarrigle, Sedarius Days, Colton Sisk, Benjamin Richards, and John Huchin. All did not make it to the end of the race.
And over here on the West Division, of course, coming home with the checkered flag after starting reportedly in 7th is Huling Kauser. Barrett Morton finishes P2 with Sage Greco in P3. George Jewell comes home in 4th with, Logan Threlkeld finishes in 4th, George Jewell in 5th, Tyler Justice in 6th, Timothy Peters finishes in 7th. Then Jason Kristen comes home in 8th, Jeremiah Holt in 9th, and none other than Charles Stevens coming home in 10th after finishing overall in 23rd, with Casey Jones rounding out the 11 drivers on the pro side. Switching over to the AM division is Brock Price. Brock Price comes home, of course, with the checkered flag. Then Thaddeus Friel Jr. finishes in P2. P3 goes to Chuck Pegleg Feltz, while the 10 machine of Corinne Smith comes home in 4th position. Noah Hoagie Hogard rounds out the top 5 on the AM side, with Alan Bergen coming home in 6th. Jacob Lenke finishes in 7th, with Daniel Parks in 8th, Larry Poling in 9th, and Wayne Newman in 10th. We move on down here to 11. That is Kevin Price in the 80 machine. Then Armando Melgosa coming home in 12th, Brian Frauheiger in 13th, with Ashton Azra Nolan having a rough night finishing in 14th, and Hayden Muir rounding out the 15 drivers that made up the AM division. So a busy night overall here at Dover Motor Speedway, Sky.
It was a busy night across both divisions. Saw some action both in ARCA West and ARCA East, but I think both races ended up having a pretty good race tonight. And next week we'll be going to Vegas, Dave.
Vegas, they always say that there's fun in Vegas, and what happens there stays there. And I can tell you this much, there's a lot of drivers that are going to be happening there next week in Vegas. So I'm excited to see it when we head out to the Nellis straightaway, and of course go out to the Strip and everything else on Fremont Street, and take the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series East and West divisions out to the desert. So for myself, Dave Regal, and of course my broadcast partner extraordinaire, Sky Shrek, and our producer and master of all things streaming, Eddie Smith, I want to thank everybody for making us a part of your evening and hanging out with us wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.